Hello, everybody. It's the coach on EA Sports. Between our visitors and the New York Giants. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between our visitors and the New York Giants. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. They come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And last week they put together a 3-touchdown victory and were never challenged in that game. Let's see if they have a little bit of a letdown here.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by a first-round pick in 2019 from Ohio State. It's Dwayne Haskins.
It's a pretty bland game he had last time out. Ended up throwing 1 interception, didn't have a touchdown to offset it, but the team found a way to win. He found a way to lean on other parts of the offense that carried them through.
Haskins looking to throw on first down. Hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And he's able to get this down deep on the Giants side of the field. A huge play there right off the bat. 61 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. A first carry now for Adrian Peterson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And a quick look at Washington's offense.
And a big key is going to be how can these wideouts create separation from the defensive backs, because we've seen some early success in the passing game in this one, and that's going to need to continue.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. Lance Kendricks, his 4th touchdown on the year. And this offense takes the ball down the field and scores on their opening drive. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories, and you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do, and when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there, that nice opening drive, because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. And a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it is permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
On the ready.
Mark 59, Mark. Check, 59. Here we go, D. Check 15. Check.
Now a carry for the shifty Dion Lewis. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. 2 yards and able to get the first down in the process. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Jones. He gets it to Thomas. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Evan Ingram was the intended target, and it's 3rd and short.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he's a long ways into Washington territory before hitting the turf. Now whistles here, and we've got a man down. Man down on the field. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. 1st and goal, and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. The touchdown all set up by the big play, 1 snap before, but they finish it off here with a shorter completion, this time for the score.
I like how they stuck with what got them there, right? The big pass play, got the momentum going, right? You create it with a play like that, and you come right back with another pass play to finalize things off.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They start the drive with Peterson. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Looking to throw Haskins. And he finds McLaurin. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards, the final tally. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
And he's able to get this down deep on the Giants side of the field. So a big run for AP, and when you look at the total package, everyone knows the level of player he's been in this league, but what really impresses you about Adrian Peterson?
I have to go back to the nickname his father gave him, which is AD, which stands for all day, because he never stopped. Morning, noon, night, and that's how he plays the game. No plays over. He always tries to finish things, and he thinks that each and every run he makes is going to take him all the way to the end zone.
Give him 9 yards on the carry there, a good run. And now 2nd and goal.
A lot can go wrong when you call a play like this down in the red zone, but that's where you appreciate this from your head coach. He's not afraid to trust his guys to do the right thing, and as a player, that means an awful lot.
Good yardage on 1st down. Now can they punch it in on 2nd and goal? 2nd down, Haskins. Haskins hit, and he lost the football. And who's got it? The Giants!
We'll give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but that's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
Instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
15 line. 15 line. Man left, man left. Alert. 3 down.
Jones now to throw on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. The coverage good that time by Kendall Fuller. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, now zapped right back in the other direction. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And our focus now moves to Adrian Peterson. And we check the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
They run again on 1st down, Peterson. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
On 2nd down and 4, Haskins. And he rifles one incomplete.
Well, touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, Haskins on 3rd down. Open man, Taylor Gabriel. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. It'll go as a pickup of 14 and a Washington 1st down.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Haskins now already over 100 yards passing in just this 1st quarter. It's 1st and 10. Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Haskins, and they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a 1st down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Here's Haskins. That's complete to his tight end. This is Lance Kendricks. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Again, it's Haskins. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. Give the sack to Lorenzo Carter.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
Now from back at the 9 after that last play, this is 3rd and goal. Now Haskins to throw it, and that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. Taylor Gabriel, his first touchdown on the year. And his guys are going to retake the lead.
Well, that's what I call an answer right there. They gave up a sack on the previous play. How about what they did to finish things off, turning it right back around?
That's the response, and that O-line feels a lot better now, don't they?
Yeah, without a doubt, because give up the sack on the previous play, that just hurts those guys because they never want to see their guy get hit.
This time, the extra point up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And the result, a touchdown for Washington. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Throwing on first down. Jones. Open target here, Darius Slayton. And he'll get inside of Washington's 15 before being taken down. A big play there on the catch and run. 67 yards. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well, because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
On the draw, this is Barkley. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. 2 yards that time. A stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play. On second down, here's Barkley. And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Watch the screen.
Jones operating from the gun to the goal line, but it's incomplete. The veteran safety Antoine Bethea there on the defensive coverage.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
A good drive gets him inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
We credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Here's Peterson as they begin on the ground. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. There to stop him on the defensive side, Lorenzo Carter. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now a give to Peterson running right. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop.
A On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Pretty heavy traffic over the middle on that one, and somehow he emerged with the football. Way to possess it, despite all the extra contact and people around him.
"51 yards on the punt there. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
All day, just like that. Just like that. 56. Mike, 56. 56. Man, I gotta go.
A 1st down carry for Barkley. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they didn't let you play.
Ready. The toss out to Barkley. And now off to the races, down the right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Saquon Barkley with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Giants are once again going to retake the lead. PAT up and good by Rosas. And that will make this a 4-point game. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Adrian Peterson now getting ready to go again on offense. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. A 10th carry now for Peterson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that because he's eating them alive in the 1st half.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Lorenzo Carter picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Just stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have herded him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. Jones now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Jones. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Throwing, Jones. He's got a man, it's Corey Coleman. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 1st down for the Giants as they pick up 12. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now Saquon Barkley. He'll be stopped short of the 25. The nice move couldn't free him. Deron Payne, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Well, now they'll try the end around. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
And Barkley did not get there. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, but sometimes the other guys make a play against you. What's that expression they like to use in the NFL? Those guys get paid too, you know.
Yeah, in college they say, hey, they're on scholarship too. In the NFL, they're getting paid too. With the day he's had, you can have one go in the wrong direction. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And our focus now moves to Adrian Peterson. Now, he's having himself a little bit of a banner game. His team right now, though, losing.
Needs a little bit of help, and I kind of equate it to a basketball game where you have the big score, and sometimes your strategy is, okay, he can go ahead and have all of his points. Let's hold down everyone else, and that's the way you win the game. And right now, he needs everyone else to start scoring, quote-unquote, as he's been.
Yeah, and he's hoping to keep it close so maybe they can keep it on the ground, not start to go through the air as much. So the drive takes him into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 47. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Haskins. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 29-yard line. Haskins now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And down inside the 15 he goes. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Here's Peterson. He's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the 2nd quarter.
A good run got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. Oh, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
I think in normal situations, most play callers would probably shelve that play in this situation. But down in the red zone, got a little something extra to play with. I like the way that he took a shot and went after it.
He may try, and he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Dwayne Haskins on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. And maybe that was just a case of completely overlooking the guy holding the football.
It certainly felt like it, didn't it? Because on my checklist, okay, as a defender,
QB's last.
running back, fullback, heck, jet sweeps nowadays. Before you even get to thinking about the quarterback might actually keep it.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The New York set to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. That's complete to Slayton. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Looking to throw. Jones. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Riley Dixon now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And it's fielded at the 34. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Leonard Williams, the former number 6 overall pick, got the sack that time.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Here's Haskins to throw. And this is Latimer, complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Cody Latimer, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On the return, it's Tate. And the Giants ready to come out now. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
56 is the mic. Come on, baby. Let's see what you got. Mike 56. Ready?
Here's Jones on first down. He's got his man. This is Tate. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. The Giants going to burn their third and final timeout as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Now Jones on first and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach!
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll get started up at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. And it's the Ravens out in front as that game moves towards halftime. Mark Ingram has a touchdown there. From there, let's head over to Minneapolis to check on the Vikings at home at US Bank Stadium. And at this point, they trail the visiting Atlanta Falcons. 2 touchdown passes there for the former MVP, Matt Ryan. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world and see what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And this one going the visitors' way as the Texans have the lead in that one. The Texans trying to finish that one off and claim victory. Offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. New York set to take the field. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Gotta wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Let's take it inside his own 40. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A toss play. This is Peterson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Haskins to throw on second down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Again, it's Barkley. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up.
56 is the mic. There you go. That's the way.
Jones now on third down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Get him, boys. Yeah. That's how
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
And taken right on the 30. 39-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. So it can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
We got 3.
3rd down. Here's Haskins. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 19 and picking up the first. Haskins looking to throw on first down. James has got it. Complete. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Peterson. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Here's Haskins out of the gun. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And, oh, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. A give to Barkley out of the gun. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Jones from the gun on 3rd down. Gets this out to Saquon Barkley. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They all go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or 2, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse.
8 ounce. 8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Another tote for the workhorse here this afternoon, Peterson. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
A carry now for McKissick. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
They'll go again with McKissick. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They run. Peterson. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Carry number 20 now for Peterson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. Haskins on 3rd down. And Latimer's got it. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. A field goal could get them the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll run with Peterson. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. They're mounting a nice drive here. Good chunk of yardage there again. O-line, they've been solid this drive.
They have that look about them right now that says, if you do anything but run the ball behind us, you're crazy. They are really moving.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Adrian Peterson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And they're able to break the tie and move out in front here in this 4th quarter. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. To throw again, Jones. Pressure comes and down he goes. The DN, Jonathan Allen, making sure his presence is felt.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Taken from just outside the 30. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return.
Let's go.
Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off, because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. Leaves them with 3rd and just a yard. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the 1st.
They pick it up on 3rd and 1 on the quarterback sneak, and that's not easily done because there are extra bodies in there on the defensive side, and they're moving forward at the snap.
Yeah, I was certainly expecting a handoff, weren't you?
Yeah, I totally was. I thought they'd go with a back, maybe try and get a lead blocker in front. But as you talk about in different games, those guys with confidence in their offensive line, they just want to move forward and get it.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Room here to run. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 12 yards is the pickup, and it's good for a Washington 1st down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
They will run it. It's McKissick. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Let's go, D.
Back to the ground. This time it's Peterson. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Now a run with Peterson. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played their responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop.
A big one there. That gives them a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
Saquon Barkley and the Giants offense set to kick off their next drive. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's gotten off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you're doing across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps, and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right, they did pick up the 1st down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win. This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a 1-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Throwing again on 2nd down. Jones. This one complete to Coleman. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. It's a giant 1st down on a gain of 16. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Jones to Barkley on the check down. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 18 there, and the Giants have a 1st down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there. Getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jones. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. The intended target was Corey Coleman. But now it's 3rd down. Out of the huddle now for play number 9 on this drive. This is 3rd down and 8. From the gun. Jones. And that's knocked away and incomplete. Strong safety Landon Collins, the one who got a hand in there, knocked it away. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
But you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
So you knew one way or another that they needed the 2 scores. They get the easy one out of the way. Now they'll get the ball back, hopefully.
Yeah, and the question is, how do you accomplish that? Do you onside kick it? Or since you have all 3 timeouts, do you kick it deep? To me, I'm playing field position with all 3 timeouts. I kick it deep and try and pin them back there.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing today.
Now it's Haskins. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Peterson. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. Again, Peterson. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
They'll run it. Here's Peterson. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay.
Game offense.
I think they're just a product of trying to buy themselves 5 extra yards.
Yeah, they want to help their punter out, right? Help with the angle, trying to pin the ball deep. That's exactly what they did there.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. It'll be called just a 22-yard punt, certainly not what he wanted. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit 000. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still... You were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for our visitors, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Giants, the losses are piling up as they drop to 1-5 now. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.